Okay, I wanted to shoot this video on showing this wet field that's full of foxtail. We're still working on the nutrients, the agronomy on this. I'm pretty sure it's going to involve more gypsum, get more sulfur, because it's wet, plus the long-term agronomy of this field isn't quite right, but we're working on it. Behind me here, there is a big grass waterway that dumps into the neighbor field. We've looked into tiling this field, but it's pretty expensive and we're putting that off if we can. So what we have here are primarily foxtail weeds, and it's been wet, and this field is wet. So in between the rain, it's not ideal, but it's supposed to rain for the next 4 days, and here we are. It's June 30th. I've not been able to get out here and row cultivate this corn. I've tine weeded it twice, pre-emerge and post-emerge, but I wanted to get out and I'll show you. It's noisy, that this motor is loud, this engine's loud on this 8100. But from in here, I just started. I did my headlands on the north end of the field up there, and it looks like I can get through most of the field. I tried to row cultivate this, and I about got stuck 2 or 3 times, and so I just gave up, and that was 10 days ago, and then it's kind of rained off and on since then. But you'll see the soil's still pretty wet, and I'm trying to go through. I'm going through in 12th gear, which is about 6 miles an hour. The corn's big enough, and I'm going about as deep as I can go to throw enough dirt to try to bury all the weeds in the row. Primarily, like I said, foxtail. There is a little bit of thistle, and there is some lamb's quarter and pigweed out here. Let's go outside and I'll show you what we've got. It might be windy out here too, I'm not sure. But I've been over these rows here to the left. You can see it's still pretty wet. If you look out in the rows, there's a lot of foxtail out in here, particularly in the end rows. So this is what I'm going through, this kind of stuff. This is pretty typical in the end rows. You see all this foxtail here? So I can go through with the row cultivator, and that's what it'll look like. You know, I've flipped it over and inverted it and buried most of it. So if we go down these rows here, obviously there's still foxtail in the row, but the idea is this corn will canopy. It's going to be hot here. We got enough moisture, and we're hopeful that this will be a good crop, but it should shade out most of the foxtail in between the rows. So I'm just trying to give it enough of a start and knock these weeds back ahead of the rain, like I said, and not get stuck. So if I run into wet spots out there, I'm just going to drive around them and leave the weeds in the wet spots, because, well, the only way to get unstuck, I've got to call somebody and have them bring another tractor with a strap and pull me out, which not ideal, especially since I'm trying to get this done ahead of the rain, like I said. But yeah, you can see that row right there, full of foxtail. And where you see the yellow, that's because the nutrients are washing away. Those are the wet channels that come to this grass waterway. But so far so good. This is the last field I've got to row cultivate. I've done about 85 acres of corn and 65 of beans so far in the last few days.